to call you to my desk. I'm about ready to move you. Hey. Now listen, honestly, I'm just telling you right now, some of you guys, and I'm just gonna, because I know some of you guys can. Perfect. Hanson, you hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, now up here, all right, we already talked about monomials. All right, now I even told you what a binomial was, and I told you what a trinomial was, and I told you what a polynomial was in the last chapter. All right, so this is a good little recap. All right, first of all, number one is called a trinomial, because you should be able to see up there the three terms. All right, we say 7ab is one term, 6b squared is a term, and 2a cubed is a term. Terms are separated by addition and subtraction, so we call that a trinomial. I don't care what you're doing. All right, we call it a trinomial. There's a whole box up here. All right. Now, the next thing is we're finding the degree. All right. Now, this exponent right here is a 1. This exponent is a 1. The degree is always the sum of the exponents. So this monomial right here has a degree of 2. This monomial over here has a degree of what? 2. This monomial over here has a degree of what?
3.
So the degree is always the largest of the individual monomials. So the degree of this trinomial would be what?
7.
Very good. 3.
Oh.
All right. It's not a sum of the individuals. It's the largest of the monomials. All right. So now I'm going to go to the next problem. Let's see if you understood what I said. All right. So for question number 2. Question number 2 is called a what? Trinomial. And the degree is what?
2.
The degree is 2. All right. Any questions? All right. Now, question number 3. That is considered a what? Monomial. And the degree is what? 2. Number 4. That is not a polynomial. Therefore, it doesn't have a degree. Now, why is it not a polynomial? Because your variable is in the denominator. Your variable is in the denominator. All right, everybody good with that? Say it again. Anybody have a question? All right, now let's look at 5. 5 is called a what? Binomial. And the degree is what?
3.
No, 5. That is exactly correct. All right. Again, this is a monomial. What's that degree right there, guys? 5, because 2 plus 3 is 5. Now, this is also a monomial. Now, I need you to pay attention. What is the degree of that monomial?
1.
Very good. 0. All right. The reason why it's a 0 is because, right, if there's just a variable x, that would be a degree of 1. All right. The constant, if I write 6, technically I could write it as 6x to the 0. All right. That's kind of why they call it 0. So in this binomial, the degree is what? Say it again. The degree is 5. All right. Over here, one more time. This degree here is 5. This degree here is what? 0. So the whole degree is the largest of the individual monomials. All right, what didn't I say correctly?
Oh, no, I was asking on the last problem. It was not polynomial.
Right. So there is no degree.
Because it's a very large number.
That's exactly correct. What?
What's the difference between a binomial and a trinomial?
2 and 3. Binomial means 2. Trinomial means 3.
Okay, yeah.
Terms are separated by addition and subtraction. Number 3 is a monomial. There's one term. 5 is a binomial because it's 2 terms. 1 is a trinomial. It's 3 terms. 6, listen carefully. 6 is neither. It's none of them. It's not a polynomial at all. The reason because the exponent is what? The exponent is negative. So your exponent can't be negative. It's got to be a whole number. And a whole number just means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. All right? Anybody have now any questions with 1 through 6? Yeah, if it's not a polynomial, it's not a degree. It doesn't have a degree. Do you hear me? It's not because it's -4. So if it's not a polynomial, it doesn't have a degree. Everybody happy? All right. Now, a standard form is one of the most important things, being able to just write a polynomial in standard form. Standard form just means largest exponent to smallest exponent. That's all it means. So if you look at, it will be that way. All right? But right now, we're looking at the largest exponent, which is the what? The 5. So to write it in standard form, it would just be 2x to the 5th plus 3x minus 12. Now think about it. 12 is considered the constant. 12 is considered the constant. All right, the constant is always last. And the variables go in order from largest exponent to smallest exponent. That's all it means. Largest to smallest. So if we were to look at question number 8, tell me what the answer is. Go. Yes.
So you have to do negative.
Good. Good. All right. Simple as that. Good job. Pay attention now. Stay with me. Julian, why don't you tell me the answer to number 9?
So it'd be I equals 4.
Negative, you mean, right?
Yeah.
That's all right.
Then negative 2 to the second.
Now notice what I did, right? Between them, you have to either tell me what it is, plus or minus. All right? Everybody good on that? Any questions?
Wait, actually, could you do just negative 2z to the second and then negative 5z to the fourth and then...
No. Largest exponent,
Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah.
4 is the largest. So
Okay.
that goes first.
Thank you.
Come on now. Look, when you come in the door, put a little pep in your step. Come and sit down. I don't want to be distracted. Do you understand me? I've got things to teach. I got boys who are easily distracted. Just come in quickly and sit down. Without making a sound. All right. Now, number 10. Miss Bang, tell me.
4a to the 3rd.
4a to the 3rd.
And then minus 5a.
Good.
Minus 3. Or
Plus
plus
2a, good.
minus 5.
And then minus 1. Very good. All right. Anybody? Tell me what's the matter.
I don't really understand how you do you just order them from the biggest to the smallest?
Yes.
Okay.
3, 2, a 1, and then basically a to the 0. Sebastian, I don't need repeated information. All right. If you have a question, speak up. All right, there you have 1 through 10. I told you, very easy. Very easy. All right. Now here we go on number 11. Now we've done this in the past. All right. So here we go. First thing I want you to notice is what I'm doing. Because it's addition, do I really need the parentheses, or is there any real purpose for the parentheses? There's no purpose. All right. If there's a number in front of the parentheses, you distribute. Come on, hurry up. I'm not sure what you're doing. Let's go. All right. So now you're just combining terms. That is all we're doing. All we're doing is combining terms. Someone give it a shot. Tell me what they think the answer is. Tell me, Caroline.
4x to the 3rd.
4x to the 3rd.
And then plus 5.
That's it. 4x to the 3rd plus 5. I like the way you said it because remember, when you add, the exponents stay the same. So all you're doing is combining like terms when it says plus. That's how simple. If it says plus, there's no real necessary, or the parentheses are not necessary. All right? Subtraction is a little bit different. So now I want to talk to you about the subtraction on number 12. All right? Again, this parentheses right here, there's no number out in front, so that's really not a big deal. All right? Here, we are distributing actually a what? -1. All right? Now, I'm going to show you one way of looking at this. All right? So I'm going to rewrite, or on your paper, just write g cubed minus 2g squared plus 5g plus 6. Now, when you distribute the -1, it becomes -1g squared. Everybody agree with me? So now, look where I'm going to put it. You put the squares with the squares. Then the 2g becomes what? -2g. And now you're just combining terms. All right? There's nothing to combine with the g cubed, so that's just g cubed. Then combine the g squares. What do we get?
Minus 3g to the second.
Exactly. Minus 3g squared. Now combine. And what do I get?
3G.
Plus 3g. And then what?
6.
Plus 6. Come on, guys. That's very simple. And like I said, the negative just means change the signs. The negative just means change the signs. All right? Now, that was 12. Let's take a look at 13. All right? Now, I'm going to put 13 right over here on the side. Here's how I want you to do it. On your paper, write it in standard form. All right? So if I write the first one in standard form, somebody tell me what that would be.
2a squared minus 2a plus 4.
Beautiful. That's how it is written in standard form. Now, again, I like to stack things on top of each other because I think it's easier to see. This 3a squared becomes what? So I put -3a squared. This -8a becomes
Positive.
+8a. The +7 becomes -7. Perfect. Now draw your line underneath it. Now the reason why I do that is because everything is lined up. It's easier to see. All right? So now simplify that. What do I get?
-1a squared, 6a,
Negative 1a squared, or just -a squared, plus 6a minus 3. Any questions or concerns with that? Yes.
Well, I'm not like. Okay, so it's the same thing as like. So for both of the equations, you just like.
Line them up.
Yeah.
The squares go with the squares. Something to the first power goes to the first power. The constants go together. That's what you're doing. You're lining things up. All right? Now, let's take a quick look at 14. Now, 14, just mental math. All right? 14 is just mental math, especially because it's what? Addition. So I'm expecting everybody here to just look at that and say, we're going to combine terms, but we're going to put the combining terms in standard form. All right? Abby, so what are you thinking?
So you would switch the orders of the -4y plus 8 and then -9y squared.
So altogether, that would be what?
That would be -13y squared.
Yes, hold up. Perfect. -13y squared. And then what?
And then that would be 12. I mean, no, 5.
Beautiful. Perfect. Negative 13y squared plus 11y. Tell me.
So do the variables the exponents, they always go first, right?
So what we do is, well, we're combining like terms, right? So I did the squares term first because the largest exponents would go first,
Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah.
And then once I did those, I went ahead and just added 8y and 3y. You there yet?
Yeah.
You sure? All right, good for you now. Let's take a look at 15. Now 15, what I want to do is, I want everybody to pay attention. All right, look up, please. Look up, look up. Because I really sometimes don't think it's necessary to write everything out. All right, so I appreciate people who can look at that and say, well, we're just combining terms. But I want to show you, your mistake is going to be made distributing a negative. All right, so when I distribute this negative here, the 4z cubed becomes what? Negative. It becomes negative. So here's what I want to show you. Here's the other option that I would like for you to think about. Plus. All right, then I distribute the negative. So this 4 becomes a what? Negative. The 3z squared becomes a what? Negative. And then the 5 becomes a what? Positive. And notice what I did here, guys. I always tell my kids to circle the value or the sign that you changed. All right, that way you know you haven't made a mistake. Because the biggest mistake kids make is they just distribute the negative to the first one and they don't do it to the other terms. Does everybody see that? What?
How come because you're distributing a positive one and it's positive 4z cubed?
I'm not. It was distributing a negative. That's a negative. When I distribute a negative, I change the signs.
Oh, right.
Right? The 4z cubed is positive, so I changed it to a negative. All right? Now it's just a matter of combining terms. Now it's a matter of combining terms. So when I combine terms, I'm looking here and looking here. What does that become? Negative 8z cubed. After the cubes comes the squares. So how many z squareds are there? Say it. How many? Negative 3. Not 3, not 1. There are negative 3. They're right here. Does everybody agree? So that would be negative 3z squared. After the square term comes the... No.
The bare z squared.
Negative 2z.
Negative 2z, thank you. And then finally the what? Which is? 13. But I don't want you to say 13. You're going to tell me it's plus 13 because that's how you're connecting them. All right, that's how you're connecting. All right, does anybody have any questions with that now? Distribute the negative, change the signs, then combine like terms. That's all we're doing. All right, let's take a look now at 16. All right, on 16, all we're doing is we're combining terms. All right. Catherine, what do we got?
Okay. So would you start with negative 3d squared? And then, or do you have to
Yep, combine the terms.
Okay.
So what is that?
So negative 3d to the 4.
What are we talking about? Shh, shh. This right here, how many is that right there?
Negative 3d.
Right, you have negative 3d squared.
Yeah.
Now you're going to add 1.
Okay.
So it would be,
Negative 2.
that's right.
d
Now
squared.
that's right. We don't change the signs when we're adding and subtracting, or you don't change the exponent. I'm sorry. You do not change the exponent when you're adding and subtracting. You good?
And then
Alright.
you would do 60.
That's correct.
And then
Now, is it positive or negative?
plus
6D, and then
And
what?
you would do minus 20.
And then minus 20. Come on now, you're supposed to be able to tell now whether or not you understand it. Cole, listen, look, I'm telling you something. Here's what's happening. Hanson, same with you. You guys, I'm bobbing my head up and down as quick as I can because I'm trying to see what y'all are doing. I've told you at the beginning of class, I'm not messing around. I'm trying to get information in your brain. I don't want to worry about you. I don't know what you're doing. All right, follow along with me. You guys are distracting me. All right, does anybody have any questions with that? All right, here we go. Let's take a look at 17. Everybody take a look at it. Now, this is a good mental math problem because it's just addition. Sebastian, what? Tell me what the answer is.
Is it 7y squared?
Where are you getting 7y squared from, please? Shh.
2y. Oh, I'm sorry. Wow. 3y. Yeah, 3y plus 4y squared and plus 3.
Okay, now you're listening to me about 80%. Okay, so I want it to be 100%. All right, so that's correct, and I probably wouldn't mark it wrong, but it's not the right form. We have to write it in standard form, which means we have to put the largest exponent first. So go ahead, tell me what the answer is now.
Is it 4y squared?
Yes.
Plus 3y. Plus 3.
Yes, sir. Thank you. That's it. All right? That's all there is to it. Put it in descending order. All right, which is called standard form. If you can do it mental math, I'm happy. That's how I expect it from you. You should be able to look at numbers and add and subtract in your head. All right, sometimes it's a little more complicated. You stack them on top of each other, and then you can combine terms. It's easy that way. All right, Caroline, what?
How'd you get 3y?
Why don't you tell me how I got 3y? Where are the y's at? Highlight the y's.
5y. How is that equal minus 5?
You see it now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, check yourself. Did you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, now, last one. All right, last one for today. All right. Now, does everybody see it's a minus? So what do I do with the minus sign? Shh. You change it to a positive, and what do? Circle it. And again, the reason why I say circle it is just so your brain, I changed the signs. That's what the rule is. Now what do? Continue on.
And then you make the -8 a positive.
Good, and then?
Then 3 is a negative.
There you go. That's it. Trust me, if you do that, when you take standardized tests, you won't make the careless mistakes. All right, finish it off.
And then you combine, let's see, -3 and that's cancels out.
That's right. So hold up.
And then positive 8 with, so that's 9 and
Good. That's all there was to it, guys. That's it. That's it. All right, everybody agree? That's pretty easy. That's pretty easy. Okay. Now, listen to me. I'm going to call you to my desk now and give you your exam, or not your exam grade, but I'm going to give you your 9 weeks grade and your semester grade. Now, also, guys, 20 through 43, I want you to go to Google Classroom because the answers are posted. Right? There's only a couple problems on here. Look, if you really want to make an A, and I'm going to talk to some of you in a minute because you made a B. If you want to make an A, all I'm doing is trying to show you how you can make an A. Check your work when you do it. Don't just assume you're correct. If you want, do question 20 and 21 and then look at the answer. Because generally 20 and 21 are kind of the same. 22 and 23 are kind of the same. 24 and 25 are kind of the same. That's generally, not always, but that's generally the way it is. All right, so open it up in Google Classroom, and then you can flip back and forth to see the answers. Check your work. That's the most important thing I can teach you now before I kick you out and send you to high school. Maybe I'll see you again next year. You might be right.
Oh, no, I like high.